Welcome to Chase is a Race. On our episode today, we've got Lucky with the Audi RS3. So we're actually going on our first ride. We're going to be doing a small little comprehensive talk on the first experiences with the car and what he likes about the car, and also the cons of owning an Audi RS3. As we've actually noticed, when we started up the car, it's got a oil change notification letting us know we've got to change it at 800 Ks. Yeah, no, I'll keep trying.
Hello everybody.
Welcome to the channel.
These guys, welcome to the channel. These guys are in the only car that matters. The bangles. Yeah.
Bangles for this episode. Yeah, no, Karawa today is backseat. Lucky's front seat today. We're going to be interviewing him and also the car as well. And I definitely have to say, he changed my whole perspective on the RS3 on our last episode, well, 2 episodes back, when we went to Hatta Passport Dam. And the ride back was just phenomenal. We killed the M3 3 times. 3 times in a row. So Lucky, tell us the very first 5 things. I'm pretty sure people want to know the 5 things you like about the Audi RS3 because you're always on about it. So let's start off with the first 5 things. And I'm sure you actually want to talk about the sound.
You
sound.
Hear it. Like the
sound.
first thing, guys, that I would basically say is the sound of this car. I mean, just listen to this.
Yeah, no, you can't deny. You cannot deny.
So yeah, the sound for me, the looks for me, like, and the practicality, man. Like, I'm a family man, so having a sports sedan for me works wonders. I can still fit a baby seat, as you can see. There's a baby seat there.
Right there.
I can still fit a pram in the back, and I can still drive.
Exceptionally quick.
Spirited. Not spiritual.
But spiritually.
Yeah.
You will know, you guys.
Alright, and for me, it's just a 4-wheel drive system, man. Like, it's amazing around corners. So we'll do a few cornering.
Yeah. In Mexico, by the way. Not SA, Mexico.
What else, man? It's an Audi. Of course.
I have to mention the soft ride quality. Very, very soft.
Yeah, so
it's not too firm.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this car is sorry, get the noise there. The nice thing about this car is the quality of the suspension, guys. Like, it's amazing. Being in other sports cars, the ride quality will be a little bit hard, but this is smooth in any driving, any drive select program that you put the car in. So yeah.
So obviously with the different driving modes, you obviously have comfort, then there's normal drive, and then we've also got dynamic, and individual is where you can individually configure the gearbox, the steering wheel, the responsiveness of the transmission as well, so all sorts of things like that, right? And that also goes along with the suspension. So if it's in comfort, it tends to be more on the softer side, but then if it's in dynamic or individual, then it tends to be firm, right?
A little bit firmer, yeah.
No, I have to say it's comfortable here in the back.
Yeah.
I don't know how BM feels in the back. This feels nice.
Yeah,
I could fall asleep.
It's a very comfortable car, a very safe car.
Very safe car.
Very safe car. You know, as they call it, training wheels, but to us, four-wheel lovers, it's a beautiful car. Honestly, like, for me, I don't regret making this choice. I really don't regret making this choice. And it starts from a long time ago, guys. Like, back in 2016 when I first saw the 8V1s, and you know, I was really inspired by people like Botlas. You know, if you don't know who Botlas is, he used to own that MMK Golf 7R. He used to have an 8V1 RS3. And guys, you'd find me 2 a.m. watching that guy's videos. He would be revving that car, like revving it,
Launch, all those sorts of things.
launching it, and I mean, I knew then that my next car is going to be an RS3.
Okay. I think those are definitely some positive points we've definitely touched on. And I really didn't want to touch on this, but I'm sure there's a short list for you. The things you don't like about it.
Sure. Okay, so it's gonna be very hard, but the one thing that I don't like about this car, the first thing is that it doesn't have torque.
Yeah. And you did mention the turbo lag as well.
Yeah, there's a bit of a turbo lag as well, so that's the second thing. So when you try and put your foot down, it takes time for the turbo to build boost and then it kicks. So that's something that I personally don't like. And it happens even when you drive in manual mode. It's something that you get used to over time as well. So yeah. Another thing, Audi. Why didn't you guys give us memory seats, guys? Like, I'm here. This
Constantly.
I'm here.
Manually.
I'm here. Oh, guys.
No, man.
You know, I can't move my seat back and just press a button. So that's for the price of the car. That's something that I really don't like about it. And also, man, the infotainment system for me, having to, you know, I have to always watch the screen to do whatever I need to do on the infotainment system. So that's something that I feel is not safe. You know,
while you're driving,
while you're driving, because you really need to like focus on the screen while you're driving to, I don't know.
Why can't you do those things on your
No, I can't do it here.
Is it?
No.
And I thought you could.
No, you can't do that.
Oh, it just shows the song that you're playing.
Yeah, it shows the song. And you can do the map, but your infotainment you can't have on your
virtual display.
Yeah.
Do you mind showing us the different modes there that you can have the cockpit in?
All right, so normally,
and then your favorite one. Or what
my
do you
favorite
use
one
which
is
for?
my favorite one when I'm driving in town is this one specifically, because you can basically just see where you are because of the map, and you can actually tell, you know, the car where you want to go. Right, and here's just like a telephone list of, you know, whoever you want to call, and this is what the music that you want to play basically, and then that is just showing me the tire pressure, which we're gonna fix obviously, but whatever errors, if you're out of fuel, if there's a tire pressure loss or service, then you get that warning, and that's just your fuel, right? So when I'm racing, I use this sort of mode, where it's easier for me to see the temperature gauge, and I can see where my rev count is and how much power and torque I'm making.
Yeah.
Right. So also the boost there also shows, you know, when I'm launching, how far, you know, the boost is building up to.
Right.
So that's something that I really enjoy when I'm racing, but I only use it when I'm racing. And then other features are fuel consumption, right, which we're going to talk about. So you can see your consumption, short term, long term, and it has another feature called driver assist, right? It's very, very cool. So by a flick of a button, and you can just adjust whatever speed you want the car to go into, and let go of everything, basically. And what the car will do is that it will sense the car in front of you, and without me doing anything, the car is literally going to stop itself.
So it accelerates and also brakes depending on the speed of the car that's just ahead of you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a name for it. What's it called again?
I think it's adaptive cruise control.
Adaptive
cruise control.
Yeah. So this is a very nice feature, especially if you're in a lot of traffic on the highway, and you just want to chill basically, and then the car does everything for you. So it'll move itself forward, stop itself, accelerate, you know, and then you can just control the speed at which you want the car to go into. So yeah, this is a very cool feature that came with this car, and it was spec'd with this feature, right? So not a lot of RS3s have this feature because it's an extra.
Oh, so it's an optional extra that you definitely have to spec out.
And how reliable is it, man?
It's very reliable.
I don't know how comfortable I would be.
It's very, very reliable. Honestly, like
So as we actually come into a stop.
I haven't had any issues, and I can also control the distance of how far the car must stop.
Would it still emergency brake?
Yeah, so it has what we call Audi pre-sense. So if it senses that,
Man, that's sketch. That's so sketch.
If it senses that I'm too close without even switching on the adaptive cruise control, it'll literally brake itself.
Yo.
Yeah, so it's a very nice
that's
feature
safe.
to have.
You're gonna be alive for a long time.
Yeah, that's something
You're
that
here for the long haul.
that's
For the
something
long
that I love about, you know, one of the features that I loved, what I love about this car is that so I don't have to stress and put my foot on the pedal. Guys, Audi is soft life, guys. Soft life. Soft life, my
And
friends.
top priority, safety.
Safety. Absolutely.
Not a grass eater.
Yeah, not a grass eater.
I don't know what grass looks or smells like, guys.
Yet.
I don't.
Oh
But
gosh.
anyway, enough about BMW.
Right. Today it's strictly
An
Audi.
video
Yeah,
now.
it's an Audi video.
So I think with any car, pretty much any car, if it's always pedal to the metal, it's chowing a lot of petrol. What I want to know, particularly from your part, how much are you, not necessarily how much you're spending on petrol, but how frequently are you filling up?
The one thing I was worried about is fuel consumption on any sports car. So that's the first thing that you consider. And surprisingly, this car is not bad, guys. Like, coming from where I come from, which we're gonna talk about a bit later, I'm getting about 9.8 per 100, right?
Yeah.
And that's with my partner driving the car to work to Pretoria and back. And I mean, my short-term memory is 9.7. My long-term is 8.6. It's right there.
On average.
On
That's
average.
actually really, really good.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I'm racing and I'm really driving the car hard, I get up to 13.5, somewhere there. So, which isn't bad considering what other sports cars out there give you, right? So you asked the question on how frequent do I have to go to the petrol station. So I would say that it depends on your driving.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you are a very spirited driver, you're gonna kill a full tank in like 3 days.
Yeah.
That's if you drive like hard every single time, and you don't sit in traffic, you have an open road where you just clap this car. I'm telling you, full tank 3 days is finished.
Yeah, so the petrol station will be a second home then.
Yeah, but I mean, if you really drive the car like a normal person would,
Which I doubt.
I think one full tank can last you a week.
A week.
Yeah,
Okay.
can last you a week. I mean, one full tank is about 1.4. I might be wrong, which gives you about 560, 570. I stand to be corrected. 560, 570 kilometers
Of range, right?
of range. So it's not bad. I remember we drove from Midrand to Durban, and when we got to Pietermaritzburg, the full tank was, I had about 60 Ks.
Serious? It's actually
And
not
that's
that bad.
that's with us, like me being spirited, right? Like climbing on it here and there and having fun with other BMWs, of course. You know? Yeah,
Oh,
so I truly had my fun, right? But I mean, if you have to clap it from here to Durban, then obviously by the time you are, what's that Shell garage? Halfway there, almost Harry Smith or whatever. Then you'll have to like fill up again, right? So all depends on your driving style. All depends on how heavy your foot is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all dependent on driving style, is what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually not too bad.
Yeah. So it's I don't think it's a bad car to have. If you are looking for a high performance car, each to their own. But I recommend an RS3, guys. Any day.
So the R1 million mark is definitely justifiable.
Yes, I think it is because of what you get, right? So, I mean, I bought this car, and I a week later I went to Midval,
Mm-hmm.
and Midval is where they do like a proper drag racing where the track is prepped, and you know. And I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest, because I just got in the car and I thought I was launching it, you know. But I think I got one good run and I ran 12.3.
Okay.
Right. And I compared that to what the M140Is were doing then, right? That have stage 2 slick tires and all those fancy things that they have, and I mean, one of our boys was running about 12.1, right? So out of the box, I mean, you're getting a 12-second car. I think that is justifiable in that sense. And you know, the engine, man, like the potential of the Dandas engine and what you can do when you sort of twickle it, you know, you add bolt-ons, you add a stage 2 software, and I mean, you've gone about an 11 second 10-second car, right? Stock turbo you make about 11.1, you know.
So like an early 11 then.
Yeah, an early 11, and then obviously then if you do hybrid, you know, then yeah, definitely
you're moving, moving properly. 9
second, definitely.
Okay.
Obviously with other things, like then you'll need injectors, you'll need all those other things, but I'm just saying for what you get stock, I think it's great potential. And also why I say so, I race my car stock, right? So you'll see me at the dices. I don't add race fuel, I don't add ethanol. You know, it's just petrol and me going there to go launch my car. And yeah, I've beaten quite a few cars that were tuned. Your 7Rs, your S3s, some RS3s as well, where owners would be like, my car's a stage 2, and I'll be like, okay, let's race. And you get there and yeah.
Dandas.
We won.
And the owner would be pissed and say, stop lying, your car's
It's not stock.
It's not stock.
Oh, come on.
But I mean, it is what it is. So I've honestly had fun with my car stock, and sure, I'm loving what you're getting out of it, stock.
For the money. I think you've definitely explained it quite comprehensively, but still sticking on the topic of money. These cars are very tunable in terms of power. I think you can get quite a lot of power with very minimal mods, and they are obviously quite reliable. And you can only be stock for so long.
True.
Right.
True.
So, what sort of modifications are you looking at the moment, and what would you do potentially to this car to make it much quicker than it currently is right now?
So for me, the first thing I'm actually gonna do is downpipe with mid pipes, you know, for the sound, to just get it to sound a bit louder, and definitely an APR intake, right, with a turbo inlet pipe, and the tuning, guys. I'm still scared because the car has multi-plan, right? So but if I had to tune, I'd definitely do a stage 2. Injectors, definitely do an intercooler, boost pipes, and yeah, stock turbo. And I think that's about it. I think when you start now adding hybrid turbos and doing myth, you're going to need to rebuild the motor. Right. So rebuilding the motor comes at a cost, obviously. And you find people that buy these cars and, you know, take it straight to the workshop to get
the full
surgery, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and then it comes out, the car was a stock car. A month later, it's a 10-second, 9-second car.
Sure.
So, well, that's lots of money. But for me personally, I think those are the ones that I would do, that I would consider safe. You know? But any car breaks, obviously. It's just about finding the right tuner who's gonna do
The proper job.
The proper job. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
I think while we're on the topic of power, you definitely need to show us how this thing moves. And there you go, it sings away.
Can I get a copy of that?
You don't have to worry about the back kicking out.
No, it's not a BMW. So, I mean, the power is there. This guy.
Come on.
It's always
It's the Polos.
Polo driver.
Yeah. Okay.
You can hear the silence of BMW
Yeah.
drivers.
you know, I'm trying to be fair. I can talk. I'm trying to be fair.
So what I also like about this car is the braking system. Yo,
Very, very hard, eh?
it's amazing. Like, I can slam on the brakes and the car will stop. Like literally.
On demand.
Yeah. The reason why, guys, like I get scared, not scared, but I really don't want to tune this car is because of the price of
The brakes.
maintaining it.
Mm.
Right. The brake pads alone, I think Audi paid 20,000.
20,000 rand.
And it was about 19,000 something.
And this is not even like the discs. This is just the pads.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
pads. So, I mean, imagine doing discs and pads at the same time, and I don't even want to know how much it is. One of my friends recently did a service as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, service, no more oil change, no plugs, oil filter. But the motor plan paid about 4,000 rand.
4,000 rand.
4,000 rand for a normal oil change only.
So that's just the basic essentials of a normal Audi oil service.
Yeah.
So if you're not a motor plan, that's a big financial cost that you're gonna incur.
Yep. And that's on you, eh? So that's how much you will be paying out of your pocket. So it's not a cheap car to have,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I mean, if you have deep pockets, definitely go for it. But I mean, if you don't, then I think try and keep your motor plan,
Mm-hmm.
and just do safe mods. You know, safe mods. What I mean by that is your downpipe, your intake for the sound.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are looking for power, then you're definitely going to need to tune your car. But then you risk losing your plan.
Your plan, exactly.
So yeah, that's something that any high performance car owner needs to consider. Right, is taking that risk. And if it's something that you are willing to do, then each to their own. But I've got 2 kids.
The money can't all go to the car.
I cannot go to the car. Yeah. So another thing that I like about this car is the launch.
Okay, let's experience this one.
Speaking of slow things.
Yeah. Yo. Yeah, I know that goes.
Something that
That
BMW
goes.
can't do, right?
Oh man.
And that's how we keep beating them.
Oh man.
Off the line.
And the nice thing about this is that you can do it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yo. Woo. Yeah, and the brakes speak for themselves as well. You're right.
Definitely. So that's something that is pretty awesome about this car. Is that launch control, man. Like,
Yeah.
and if you really do get it right, I think you can take on almost any car.
Almost anything, right?
Almost
Yeah.
any car, right? Like, I think it gives you that confidence, right?
Mhm.
To say that you know, let me give you a head start.
The disrespect, yo.
let me give you a head start even when you stop. So stock 240, stock M4, stock
M-Lights.
M-Line, I
M
don't
Performance.
care. I don't care. Come. If you stock, come.
See, there's the brand. There we go.
Come.
Audi.
The bangles.
The bangles.
Yeah. The pizza. The bela.
The bangles, darling.
Second. Alright, try it.
And I like what you mentioned on how you could constantly always launch this car, like repetitively, one launch after the other. And
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a pro as well. I think when it comes to racing, because when you're racing, you definitely need consistency, especially if it's off the mark and also towards the end in terms of the finish line.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like any car, it's going to get hot.
Mm-hmm.
So you also need to not abuse your car.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But I think you can do 3 good runs and get up to a temperature of about 110, 112.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're about there, 112 degrees, that is,
Mm-hmm.
like, just open your bonnet and let the car cool down and just give it time.
Mm-hmm.
Like any other car.
Like any other car,
Let
yeah.
it cool down and get your temp slower. You'll see people that actually own Dandas that are tuned.
Mm-hmm.
They would even buy ice and, you know, put ice on the manifold
Mm-hmm.
to help it cool down. Some people even, I mean, if you are a racer, like, I'm not gonna mention names, but I mean, they are proper racers that buy these cars just for that.
Mm-hmm.
They will even buy a fan, buy the ice,
Sure.
you know, make sure that the car is properly well cooled down.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, something that I'm gonna give away to just about anyone: don't race. An RS3 driver should not race a car after 3 or 4 launches when your temperature is about 110. Your launch is not going to be consistent.
Mhm.
You're going to have a bad launch and you're going to lose that race.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the gearbox really needs to cool down for it to give you that, you know, that launch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The smooth
proper
launch.
Yeah. So a lot of the times you get guys that want to race me,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, obviously first run, then I would win, and then as we go back, you know, around, instead of taking his loss, he'd be like, let's go again.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd look at my gauge and I'm like, okay, I'm at 103 like now.
Mhm.
Right? The moment I get to the start line,
Mm-hmm.
my engine is already at 107, and when I
Sheesh.
launch the car, as I'm building boost, it's already at 110. I'm gonna lose that race automatically. I know.
Right,
I
yeah.
know very well that I am gonna lose. I'm not gonna get that launch
Mhm.
out of it, and that's why some of you will see most of my races where I do reruns,
Mm-hmm.
and first run I would obviously win,
Mhm.
or I would win,
Mhm.
and then second run I'd lose the race just because of that.
Yeah, makes sense, because especially with performance, heat is definitely like the biggest enemy
Yeah.
when it comes to the car actually performing at its absolute best, because cars tend to perform much better in cooler conditions, while obviously internal conditions of the engine definitely have to be much cooler in order for the car to progressively, you know, perform perfectly.
But I mean, that's why then you need to have like bolt-ons, right? Like your intercooler that's gonna help with that. Your meth, you know, that's gonna help with the cooling of the car. But I mean, stock, you just need to cool your car down.
Yeah,
Just pack,
that's
just
true.
pack
There's
it.
limits.
Yeah. So I think when I look in the market, the only best car to buy is a Porsche.
Yeah, I think you've nailed it.
I don't think that you will, like, I don't think that I'll be able to buy a BMW
Mm-hmm.
and be satisfied with the launch, you know. But I'll be satisfied with the torque. Right? But when I'm in this car, I'm satisfied that I can launch, you know, this car and then it just goes.
Right.
But I don't have the torque. Right? And this is just a stock for stock basis.
Right.
Don't get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
Right. Obviously, when you start tuning it, then you can bring up the torque. You can, you know, you can fiddle with it, and it will give you sort of best of both. I hope what I'm saying is technically correct.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, But like any other car, you know, I think you see like other BMWs that launch very well off the line, like an Audi, and you know, even the X-Drive is doing exactly that, right? But for me, Porsche 911 922 Turbo S.
Oh, turbo even.
Crayon color.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if I have
all-wheel
to
drive.
If I have to have the money, guys, that's my car.
That's the next step, right?
That is my car.
Yeah.
Not if, when. I have the money.
When. Yeah, I know. It's a matter of when.
That's my
That's
car.
definitely the thing.
Yeah.
But you lose one thing though, practicality. Are you okay with that?
I'll be rich enough to have a V-Class, a Baki, a mommy's car.
Cayenne,
I'll have whatever.
G-Wagon.
Yeah. So that won't even be something that I need to even think of.
Right.
Like if I have to have the money today, I'll buy that car today.
Instantly.
Tonight even.
Tonight.
Tonight even.
No, I think that's definitely a good choice because with Porsche, as you've mentioned before, it's best of both worlds.
Definitely.
A very, very comfortable car, extremely reliable,
Definitely.
and driver friendly, user friendly.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful as well.
Unique.
It has hips.
Here
has
you go.
curves.
Like another car, you know.
You know, it's and okay, so I must say I love what Audi did with the 8Y. The 8Y is the new RS3. You get certain features that comes from the Porsche, right?
Right.
And a bit from the Lamborghini. Like if you look at like the, what do you call this thing? Where's the English?
The
Icon, whatever.
Right.
This thing, guys.
Yeah,
This thing. It looks like a Lambo, and then here when you look at the gear, it's got that short gear thingy there, and then the start button. So it reminds you that, you know, not a reminder, but it shows that Audi drivers, the next level is a Porsche. How can you come from a BMW and think of a Porsche?
This one is getting personal, yo. I know this one's getting.
Nothing personal. Nothing personal.
It's getting really deep.
You must ask BMW drivers, what's the next big thing for you? It's not another BM. What is it? And what does BMW represent?
No, it's X-Drive. It will be an awkward
No,
silence
but
because
I
it's
mean,
X-Drive,
yeah,
but
even X-Drive, whatever. But
it will be very awkward.
you know, it's story for another day.
Story for
When
another
X-Drive
one.
is launching and someone is just checking, pressing buttons that you see. Where's the Quattro secret menu? Maybe I'm not pressing the right things. Or out in my Quattro switch off.
Oh. But one thing I also noticed with the 8Y was, I don't know if I can call it a gimmick, but the drift mode.
Yeah.
Would you say it's justifiable enough for you to spend an extra few 100,000 rands over this current Audi RS3 to get the AY just because it has drift mode?
No. So I think not to speak badly about the brand, but I think that if you're coming off an 8V2 and you're going into an 8Y, you're just buying looks. You're just buying a drift mode, and 10 kilometers an hour extra.
Yeah.
Because the car then goes to 280 kilometers top speed. Also, what you're buying is more torque, right? But if you look at the numbers, you're taking the same engine and you're putting it in a 1.4 million rand car. I don't think that it makes sense for me to go buy that car based on those factors. And like I said, still with that torque that they gave the car, it still does not compare to its rival or competitor, right? And also having 294 kilowatts.
Yeah, 294 kilowatts.
Comparing it to 331, guys.
It's a bit hard
It
to.
doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
why not then take that extra 300,000 or 400,000 and tune an 8V2, and you can call out the whole South Africa.
Yeah,
if you
pretty
can,
much.
You know.
Pretty much, yeah.
So for me, I mean, I went to Audi when I took this car in for service, and they were like, "No, come see the 8Y." I mean, I started the car and I was like, no,
No.
no, thank you. Another thing, it's so quiet. Like it is quiet, and I mean that's what most of these new cars are. You know, they're becoming more and more quiet. And yes, you know, it's for regulations, it's for this, but I mean, the 8V1 is actually the best sounding RS3 there is, right? Because you get the burbles, you get the pops, which I wish I had in the 8V2. But I mean, even here, you do get some of the burbles, but it's not as loud as the 8V1 was.
Right.
Right. So, short answer is no.
Yeah, it's a no.
Thank you.
It's a no.
Keep it.
You know, the other thing I was thinking, how many people are actually using the drift mode?
Yeah, that's the
So
thing.
that's also another thing, man. I mean, tires, okay guys, like tires are expensive, right? So I think that's something that we also need to talk about. That's something that you need to consider when you're buying this car. So your front wheels are always going to finish more than your rears, right? And I mean, tires alone, so one tire per rally, depending on where you go, you'll spend about 5.5, 5.2 if you're lucky, per tire. And that's about, you'll do the maths, 20,000 on.
Jeez.
Right? On all 4 tires. And you need to replace all 4 tires, no matter the condition of the back, because of the quattro system.
Really?
Yeah.
Yo. You knew that?
So yeah, that's something that you need to consider when buying this car. You know, also even that's what I was told, right, at Audi. I'm not sure if it's the truth. Don't quote me.
We have a disclaimer,
Don't quote me. Yeah.
Oh, but that's a lot of money,
So
though.
it is a lot of money. So basically, back to your question on the 8Y, whether you were gonna drift it, guys.
Yeah.
Tires are expensive.
Very, very, very.
But also on daily, like, I've never owned a car with drift mode, but I just don't know, man. If people would drive it the way like people drive rear-wheel drive cars,
No.
and drifting every corner.
In actual fact,
I don't know.
most people that own the 8Ys hardly spin them.
Yeah.
Hardly. Like, I'm on the RS3 South Africa group. It's show and shine cars, you know. They would lower them, put on Maxon design, splitters, make them sound good, make them look good. But yeah, even you would hardly see an 8Y race. You know, I was lucky enough to race one, and yeah, shout out to the owner, who was willing to race me, you know. And first run, I mean, I won the race. Second run, he won, and the reason why, you know, it went about that way is because of the launch. So the one thing is that if you're a split second late, stop for stop.
It's late, right?